Hello there, folks. How are we all doing? I'd like to say welcome to those who are stopping by for my last hurrah here on YouTube. I'm just out here enjoying the sunshine. While I still can, that is. If any of you from across the pond know anything about the Irish climate, well, it doesn't exactly stay nice for long, I'll put it that way. This video is obviously going to be quite different from everything before it, given that I am saying goodbye. It's nothing at all related to Dragon Ball, music, anything like that. Sorry if the quality is pretty bad as well, I'm not used to making stuff like this. I won't be responding to any comments after this point either. I might like a few of them, but that's about it. I'm just gonna share with you some of my thoughts on where I came from, where I am, where I'm going, and where I hope to be. And while doing that, I thought, let's go for a walk through my home. So my journey with Dragon Ball began about 10 years ago. I actually got into it through watching Dragon Ball Z Kai, believe it or not. It aired over in England on a channel called Kix, which we were able to pick up over here in Ireland. It's not a joke to say that it has impacted my life greatly. I was pretty much obsessed with it instantly. I used to get up early on Saturday mornings just to watch the new episodes, and I've never done anything like that before or since. When Super came out, it only added to it. I always rushed home from school to see Goku's latest adventures, or whatever sketchy website uploaded the episode first. It was so impactful for me that I began working on a prototype fan manga that served as a spin-off to the main series. The working title for this manga was called Dragon Ball Z Origins, as it was to be a prequel, but I was never satisfied with the name because, as my story expanded, I realised that the Z part of it had no business being there. It was to be set long before the events of the original Dragon Ball, and was in no way connected to Dragon Ball Z. That, and the fact that it was too similar to the name Dragon Ball Origins, which was an official DS game. Those of you with eagle eyes will notice that the Dragon Ball part of the logo in my channel banner is actually from this game. So I knew that the title had to be changed to something more representative of what I was making. It was obvious that it had to sound like something official, like Dragon Ball GT or Dragon Ball Super. In particular, I was looking for a single word to add after the Dragon Ball part, as was the case with other notable fan manga, such as Multiverse, Absalom, among others. So one day, as I was brainstorming and trying to come up with what this word would be, I typed into Google something along the lines of words similar to the word story. Now, the first word that came up was tale, but I thought that Dragon Ball Tales sounded a bit goofy. So I eventually came across the word legacy. Now, I'm sure you can figure out by now that the name Dragon Ball Legacy stuck around. Scroll down a bit and you'll see it, for God's sake. The point is that despite this channel only being a few years old, the story goes back much longer. Releasing a full official fan manga dedicated to the series I love has been a dream for me ever since the first pencil met with paper. However, I realised after a while that the writing aspect was much more fun than doing the art. So I took several hiatuses from drawing while I was in school and in college, though the story side of it never stopped. I gave up work on my manga a little after the midway point of my first year of college in early 2019, as I realised that on my own it was taking far too long to make any progress. I did love designing characters, but the panels took forever. So for my story to reach its full potential, I realised that I needed to hire a full professional artist and redo it all over. Oh, and sorry for the interlude here. Just because I'm feeling generous, have a look in the description. I've provided a link to download this prototype. Give it a read if you want. It's only 4 chapters long and a lot of it is referenced, but bear in mind that it was only ever meant to be a first draft. So for the time being, I shelved the idea, intending to pick it up at a later date while I search for an artist. Looking back, I have to laugh at my optimism because at the time I had no job. My only income was my college grant, and even then, I spent half that money hitting the town with my mates, as you do. So once the college year ended, I suddenly had a lot of downtime in the summer, and this is where my interest in making edits for Dragon Ball music began. So I learned how to use Audacity and undertook a few projects such as making instrumentals for the Japanese and English versions of Dan Dan. There was also the creation of a few more personal edits such as my Best Quality Version series. These ended up becoming the first videos uploaded to this channel. So you might wonder, why am I saying all this? Well, despite never speaking of it before, my manga was actually my biggest influence for creating this channel. Not making rips, though I did come to really enjoy doing the latter. To tell you the truth, the ripping aspect was always more of a side hobby for me. The manga always took the priority. I just decided one day during the pandemic to make this account, not just because I wanted to share my edits, but also to make a name for myself. I figured that having a successful channel would make releasing the official version of my manga much easier when that day came. Calling the channel Dragon Ball Legacy would forever associate that name with me before anyone else. Or at least that's how I thought it would turn out. The name is by no means unique. There are other channels on here that share the title. I found other fan stuff online from before I even found Dragon Ball with the same name as well. But to be honest, after all this time, I think I've achieved my goals. Over 750,000 views across the channel and 1,400 subscribers at the time of recording is evidence of this. It's not a flex, this is all true, though I never expected this to happen at all, really. I think it's safe to say that the Dragon Ball Legacy name will at least somewhat be associated with me for some time. However, the channel becoming so popular has, ironically, did more harm than good in some ways. Mainly because it exceeded my expectations. I never thought that I would get so many views, which I am extremely thankful for. However, as more and more people watched my content, I felt increasing pressure to continue to upload more. Now, it's no secret that I haven't really had the time to do this recently because of my job. That, and the fact that my personal life being a mess has not been much help. Even when I have had the time, I prioritised working on videos instead of my fan manga, which need I remind you is the reason why I started here in the first place. I did spend a small amount of time last year and the year before creating logos and cover art for it. Some of which you can see on the screen now, actually. But I want to do much more. I need a little more freedom. And that's why I'm leaving.
for the foreseeable future, I'm going to work on myself. Spend more time with family, friends, focus on my career, all that. I'm going to try and focus on my manga until the day comes when I'm ready to show it. Who knows when that'll happen? Years even. It might not happen at all, but that's life. I may return to this channel someday, but my days of making rips are certainly over. Because I believe that I've accomplished all that I can. I succeeded in spreading my name. I will always have what I've done here to fall back on. I'm very proud of all the joy that I gave to so many people with these videos, but all good things must come to an end.
So that's how we end up with the title of this video. Until we meet again. I'm sure that none of you are strangers to where this line comes from. It's the end of the road, folks. Hope none of you are too sad. Our paths may never cross again, but always know that there will be a chance. I will announce my return in due time. But when that day comes, there's something that I want you to keep in mind. My name is Jonathan, though my friends call me Johnny. I'm a 22-year-old from Ireland. I fell in love with Dragon Ball, just as you all did. I'm the guy that made all those clean rips of the tracks that you love. And I'm here to say, remember the name, Dragon Ball Legacy. Goodbye!